The sad reality in Nigeria that I'm starting to come to terms with is the fact that anybody, any damn person can be bought in this country. Now, let's just leave poverty out of it because, if it's where, poor people would want to argue that it's about poverty, no money and all of that. But these are senators that we are talking about. These senators were actually bought. That is why, Tinubu had the speedy approval for state of emergency that he declared in Rivers State. Can you imagine that? Can you even fathom that? Can you imagine the same Wike who is the cause or the architect who orchestrated all of the crisis in Rivers State, along Fubara as well, because I'm not going to, cleanse Fubara of any wrongdoing, because he's also complicit in all of this. The same Wike that started all of this because he wanted to be godfather. He wants to be godfather. He wants to own the structure of Rivers State just because of his presidential ambition. The same person, brought dollars, gave Akpabio dollars, which Akpabio shared at his own residence. I reported this about 2 days ago. If you've been following, you must have seen the video. Wike gave Akpabio. You see that picture where Akpabio took pictures with Larry Olayinka, Wike, and some other people? Yes. Immediately after the pronouncement of a state of emergency, Akpabio allegedly, let me just put allegedly so I don't get arrested. Akpabio allegedly, as reported by Sarah reporters, went to Wike's house. Wike handed the cash over to him, and he then went ahead to share the dollars, to these senators at his own residence, according to their seniority. Some got $10,000, some got $15,000. Can you imagine that? Because already APC knew. They knew that they did not have a majority at the house, at the level of a house, both at the House of Representatives and the House of Senate. They know that they do not have a majority, so they know that they have to do canvassing. They have to, entice people with money. They have to, including Labour Party members. The same man who gave Natasha 6 months suspension, Imaswenabi, what is his name? He was seen amongst those people that was, even he organized it. He's part of the organizers, and he was, giving out cash to these senators. Obviously, not all senators, took this money. But with the speedy way that, they gave Tinubu the approval, you can tell that majority of them took the money, apart from Seriake Dickson and some other people who were strongly, and Tambua, who were strongly and firmly against, the pronouncement of state of emergency in Rivers State. Most of the senators have collected money, hence they were quiet. They were mute. And they did not even allow for deliberation on this matter before they just, pronounced that, the state of emergency is approved. Anything Tinubu asks for, before you see the speedy way at which Akpabio orchestrates approval for Tinubu is so alarming. It's like we do not have a legislature. We do not have a legislative arm in this country. Is that bad? Is that bad? Because the legislative arm, the executive, they connived with Wike to make sure that the state of emergency happened. And, part of me is now seeing that, the end game actually wasn't even, wasn't even to remove Fubara. The end game was to suspend him and declare a state of emergency. The end game wasn't to impeach him. The end game was to, declare state of emergency so that, they would have control. He would have control, the control that is so much desires. He will have it at long last, because we had seen a picture with, where we saw Wike with the new sole administrator of Rivers State. We don't know the kind of relationship they have, but I know that with time, all of that will be reviewed. Before we delve right into the details of today's news, if this is your first time here, you have not subscribed to this channel, please go ahead and subscribe. Like this video, also leave your opinions in the comment section below. Don't forget to give this video a massive thumbs up. It's very, very important, because that way we get encouraged to put out more reliable and authentic news. Also, YouTube is able to recommend this video to other YouTube viewers all around the world. The Senate on Thursday experienced a mild drama during its session to approve a state of emergency declared in Rivers State by President Bola Tinubu. Newsroom Nigeria learned that a few senators, notably Aminu Tambua and Naya Baribe, expressed their disagreement with the emergency declaration, particularly the suspension of elected officials, which they argued was unconstitutional. Despite their objections, the Senate overwhelmingly backed the president's move, shutting down an open debate on the matter. Speaking on the matter, Dickson said, and I quote, "Today at the sitting of the Senate, the issue of the president's proclamation of a state of emergency in Rivers State came up for discussion, and as I have stated repeatedly, I raised my objections in the closed session on how the declaration fell short of constitutional prescription. Based on my view as a Democrat sworn to uphold the Nigerian Constitution, the Senate did not undertake the debate in an open session. However, it was quite robust. I want to thank Senator Aminu Waziri Tambuwa for his strong support of the unconstitutionality of the declaration, especially the aspect that deals with the suspension of elected officials of the Rivers State government. At the end of the day, majority of the senators suspended the proclamation as no room was given, supported the proclamation, as no room was given for an open debate at plenary. I left the plenary before the Senate President was directed to report the outcome because I did not want to be present while what I opposed is being reported. I believe Senator Tambuwa, Senator Abaribe, and others equally left too. I want to make it clear that, as I stated repeatedly, I spoke and voted against the proclamation in our closed session, supported by Senator Aminu Tambuwa and a few other senators who were not recognized to speak. And so I want to thank all the senators who shared the view that I vigorously canvassed. I am, however, aware of the efforts made to modify the declaration as a result of the concerns and views we have expressed and canvassed the past few days. Though I acknowledge the efforts being made by the leadership and president to moderate the terms of the declaration and to create a mechanism for oversight, theoretically, this does not counter the primary issue of constitutionality. The beauty of democracy is such that the minority will have their say, while the majority their way. I would have wished for more robust and open debates so that all views and opinions can be openly canvassed, as I requested even at the closed session specifically, and thereafter, the majority can have their way. But as it is, both chambers have decided, and the ball is now on the court of the other arms of government, especially the judiciary, in the event of any challenge. What are your thoughts? Let's have them in the comment section below. What do you all think of this? You guys, like I said at the beginning of this video, these senators have been bribed. They've taken money and they cannot speak the truth. Their mouth is now closed. Even Akpabio did not allow for open deliberation. He was just shutting them down. And even if he had allowed them to deliberate further on the matter, as Seriake Dickson says, they would allow the minority to have their say, while the majority will have their way. That is how it is. APC would always have their way because, Akpabio, who is the Senate President, is APC, and some other people as well, Bamidele as well. They will have their way because they have the authority at the Senate level, whereas there are other people from some other political party would want to counter, their opinion, but those people would only have their say. They cannot do anything more than that. Before we go, guys, let's take a look at some of the reactions we got online. Opayemi says, President had already sworn in the sole administrator before even Saturday to deliberate and approve his action. Are you guys serious at all? Then we have Godswill who says, these people, we vote them. We stood in the sun to vote them. After going there, nothing good we get from them. It's all about their ego. Next election, I won't go and stand in the sun to vote these criminals to office. I have never seen a country corrupt as Nigeria. You all, let's have your thoughts and opinions in the comment section below. What do you all think of this? Thank you very much for always listening and watching, guys. I'll see you all in my next video. Bye.